everyone, it's Sharona from Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Candyman, which will hit theaters this Friday. This film is directed by Nia DaCosta. It stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Tiana Parrish, Colma Domingo, as this is like a spiritual sequel, okay, to the 1992 horror classic Candyman, which we now visit the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where this legend first began. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay your way to see this film in theaters, okay? Because I don't know about y'all, but I need to make sure my coins are going to the things my coins deserve to go to. So I have to say that I am mixed about this film. I've seen it 3 times, twice at home, once in the theaters, and whew, it's just a lot I need to talk about, so I'm just gonna lay everything out on the altar. I'm gonna give it up to the Lord. Let's just go ahead and start with the pros. What I enjoyed about Candyman. I do want to give a shout out to Nia DaCosta and John Glucerian, who is the cinematographer for this film, because I was just like, I know this is supposed to be a horror movie. I'm supposed to be scared right now, but it's just so pretty. It was so nice to look at. The lighting was giving me what it needed to be giving me with these beautiful melanated actors in the film. It was shot very nice. It looked good. But I want to give kudos to the puppetry that's used. Now, we saw a couple of months ago when they showed the story of what happened to the Candyman that we grew up on, Daniel. And I love that they used puppetry to really display and showcase his story. A lot of times when we talk about, I don't want to see any more Black trauma films, I like that they used the puppetry to convey Daniel's story, but you still feel the pain of it. You still become angry. You still feel the injustice of what happened to his character and how he came to be the legend of who he is as Candyman today. Now, also too, with the use of mirrors, I thought it was very clever what they did with the mirrors and showcasing Candyman as he kills his victims. I thought it was fresh, it was well done, and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I'm still not gonna look in the mirror and say his name, but I can go ahead and look at him kill his victims. But while we talking about killing the victims, one of the biggest gripes that I had with the first Candyman was like, sir, so let me get this straight. So white people tortured you and killed you, and then when you come back to seek vengeance, you start killing Black people? Had that make sense for me real quick. But what I will say is because the first film is based through it's filmed through the white perspective. Let's just call it what it is. Helen is the main character of that film. And so we see this journey through her eyes, but because we flip it in this reimagining of Candyman where we are filming it through the Black perspective, we actually get white victims, y'all. Now, I'm not saying I'm not out here talking about go kill white people. I'm just saying this makes more sense that there will be white victims who are being killed by Candyman than Black victims. And also, too, I do have to say, I love the themes of what they were trying to do with the film, talking about gentrification, how, you know, we ignore Black communities, you know, when they're in poverty, and how we gentrify those neighborhoods and move white people into them. I do like what they were trying to do with that commentary, the commentary on racism in America, also, too, with police brutality. But I'll get into that a little bit more in the cons, that I felt like they started off on a high note at the beginning, and it just lost me towards the end of the film. I do have to say, there's some good humor in this. I want to give kudos to Nathan Stewart Jarrett, who plays Brianna's brother in this film. He was giving me the energy that I needed. You know that character that like say and reacts like how you would react in real life? I really liked his character. There's some fun humor in this film. It doesn't take you out of the movie. I thought it was very well placed. And I think the acting performances overall, they're fine. I think everyone does a good job with what was given to them, but I think it's the writing that held them back from their performances. But I think, is that everything that I liked about it? Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I enjoyed about this film. Let's get into some of the issues. Actually, you know what? One more thing, one more positive. I did like the body horror in the film. Nia does a very great job of keeping you uncomfortable. There is something that is happening to Anthony's character in the film. There's a transformation that's starting to happen in his body, and it was so gross. So much that I had to stop eating my food, y'all. I had to stop eating my food. I was like, girl, can you move the camera? It's too much. It's lingering too long. But that's the purpose of body horror. It's supposed to make the audience uncomfortable. It's supposed to make them uneasy and queasy because I couldn't finish my food. Now, that's all that I have for the cons. Let's go into for the pros. Let's go into some of the issues that I did have with Candyman. And most of my issues with the film, it comes from the writing. Now, Jordan Peele, Win Rosenfeld, and also too, Nia DaCosta, they helped write the screenplay for this film. And one of the biggest issues that I do have with Candyman is the story just doesn't really make sense to me. There's a lot of things that are introduced, especially in reference to the relationship between Anthony and his mom, also too with Brianna and her father. There's things that are introduced that I felt like it needed to be fleshed out more to really have it make sense for the story and to really give it purpose. It's kind of just introduced that these kind of familial dynamics, there's a break in their family and like where they came from, but we never really get to explore it deeper. And I think for the sake of the story, I think it would have been better well served actually exploring, the trauma that Brianna faced with her father when she was young, and also too, the relationship between Anthony and his mother. Now, also, too, I want to talk about the themes. So we talk about gentrification. I think they do a very great job in the dialogue of talking about the issues of gentrification, how basically, how ghettos were built by white people and then they were abandoned, and then they came in and just displaced the Black community in order to move white people in to gentrify those neighborhoods. And I think the biggest part missing from me is the presence of Black community. That's a big thing of the 1992 film, actually seeing them in the Cabrini Green apartments as Helen's investigating this urban legend of Candyman. You can't talk about gentrification and not show the effects that it actually has on that community of people who are being displaced out of a place that they've called home from years on years. And I felt like we needed to see that to really help this whole tale of how gentrifying neighborhoods, how that's really a disservice to, these communities. And I just felt like it was missing from the entire film, so much that it kind of missed the note towards the end of really driving that point home on gentrification. There's also something too with the police brutality. They do a great job in the beginning, but there's something that happens with Anthony's character, especially as we're having all of these deaths occur, and there's something that ties him into all of these white deaths. You can't tell me that all these white people are dying and a Black man is kind of at the center of it, but not really, and not one person wanted to question him, or he wasn't getting no smoke, no heat from the cop. It didn't make sense for me. And then as we get into the end, they just do something. I was just like, this was a missed opportunity here. Like, this could have hit the way that I know you wanted it to hit, and it fell flat for me. Now, the third act does feel rushed. We go from 0 to 100 real quick, like so much that I was like, hold up, wait, like what is happening right now? Like, this is the climax? Like, it was a slow build up, but it's just how we got to that point. It felt like there's like 15 or 20 minutes of footage missing, like just laying on the cutting room floor somewhere, that I was just like, honey, what are we doing right now? This is happening way too fast. No real build up to get to this point. And while in the third act really saved most of the film for me, because the last couple of seconds of the film, I was just like, this is what I wanted the entire time. It was so dope. And then I was just like, but the movie over now. And I just don't know how to feel about it. I didn't know how to feel about it. And overall, it's not really scary. Now, I know some people said the first film wasn't scary, but I was scared. I couldn't sleep. I'm not going to say his name in the mirror. I'm not doing none of that, but I didn't feel scared throughout the film. I felt like because we were talking so much about the social commentary that we lost a lot of the horror outside of the body horror was happening. I just felt like it just fell flat for me. And that's why I'm really mixed on Candyman. I don't know if it was the hype or the anticipation because we had to wait so long with the movie being postponed and having to come out now. But I think in my mind, or as a whole, like, I was way too hyped. And what I saw on the screen, it just didn't live up to the bar that I had placed for Candyman. So for me, this is where I get conflicted. So for me, I'm going to have to say, like, for you and your coins, it's a wait for me. But what I will say is I do think that general audiences will enjoy Candyman. I will say that because I experienced it in a theater for my final viewing, it was a better experience. People were talking to the screen, laughing when the jokes landed. I had a good experience in the theater, but I just think the writing for me, the story for me, I just think that it doesn't really live up to the cult classic of Candyman. And really, when we're going to be doing these sequels or remakes or reimagining, if the story and the heart of that story of why we love Candyman, I just didn't feel it. But I do think people people will enjoy this film. I will probably be in the minority of how I felt about Candyman. I just have to be honest. I'm still excited to see what Nia has to do with Marvels. I'm excited for her career. Like I said, this isn't a terrible movie. It's a decent movie. I'm right in the middle with it, but I just think from a critical standpoint with the writing, it just really lost it for me. So yeah, that is my, I'm leaving it on the altar, y'all. I'm getting away. Let me know what you guys think about Candyman when you go see it. Let me know how you felt about it. Like I said, I do think I will be in the minority on my opinions on this, but I just had to keep it real with y'all because like, I just, tell the truth, shame the devil. That's just how I was raised. But those are my thoughts on Candyman. As always, my name is Sharona from Para Waits. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again,